Here's a moment I bet you know. 8 in the morning, you've done your face, and it looks beautiful. Skin looks smooth, color's right, you feel good walking out the door. Then somewhere around 2 in the afternoon, you catch yourself in a car window, and it's a different woman looking back. Foundation's crept into the smile lines. There's a stripe of orange along the jaw that wasn't there before. The under eye has gone patchy and dry and somehow shiny at the same time, which shouldn't be possible, and yet, every woman I know blames her skin. 30 years on Hollywood sets tells me otherwise. That 2 o'clock face is almost never a skin problem. It's a sequence problem, and it's usually caused by 2 of the 5 mistakes I'm about to show you. 7 steps, 5 mistakes. Let's fix your afternoon. Let me tell you who's talking because it matters. I've been a makeup artist in Los Angeles for 3 decades. Film sets, award shows, magazine covers, and a great many 5 in the morning calls in a trailer where a woman needs to look luminous under a lighting rig that shows absolutely everything. I've worked on faces in their 20s and faces in their 70s, and I'll be honest with you, the 70s are more interesting. There's a face there. There's a life in it. The women you see on screen looking extraordinary at 60 are not doing more than you. They're doing it in a different order. I'm counting these down from 7 to 1, ranked by how much difference each one makes on mature skin. Number 1 is the one that changes everything, so stay with me for that. Number 7, look at the face before you touch it. I don't reach for a brush for the first minute or two. I look. Where is the skin, dry and clingy, usually around the nostrils and the outer cheek? Where does it still get shiny, usually the forehead and the chin? Where do the lines actually sit when the face moves? Because your face at rest and your face laughing are 2 different canvases. Stand at your bathroom mirror in daylight, smile, and watch where the skin folds. That's where foundation is going to collect later. On a shoot last year, the actress had 1 dry patch beside her nose, about the size of a thumbprint. Nobody would have caught it in a bathroom mirror. Under a key light, it drank the foundation and turned into a gray shadow by the second take. 2 minutes of looking would have saved us 20. Number 6, hydrate and then wait. Mature skin drinks product. If you apply base onto skin that's still tacky, the foundation floats on top of that moisture and slides straight into the lines the second your face warms up. So a hydrating serum, a good moisturizer, pressed in with the flats of your fingers rather than rubbed, and then you leave the room. Make your coffee. Answer an email. Come back in 5 minutes and the skin is plump and matte to the touch instead of slippery. Every artist I know builds that pause into the schedule. It isn't a luxury, it's what gives your base something to hold on to. Number 5, prime where the face asks for it, nowhere else. Full face priming is a habit left over from the 90s, and it does mature skin no favors. A grippy primer everywhere makes the base grab in patches. A silicone blurring primer everywhere makes the whole thing pill under a sponge. What I do is targeted. A blurring texture primer on the cheeks and around the nose where the pores are wider. A little grip on the T-zone if you still get oily. How do you know which one you need? Press a clean finger to your cheek in the middle of the day. If it comes away with nothing and the skin feels tight, you need blur and moisture, not grip. If there's a slick on your fingertip, that's where a grip primer earns its place. And absolutely nothing under the eyes because that skin is thin, it moves constantly, and every extra layer you put there is another thing that can crease. Number 4, press it in. Don't paint it on. Watch how a professional applies base and you'll notice there's almost no sweeping. Sweeping drags product across the skin and lays it down into the texture, which is precisely where you don't want it. Instead, warm a small amount on the back of the hand and press and roll with a damp sponge or your fingertips. Start in the center of the face and work outward, so the coverage is heaviest where you actually need it and fades to nothing at the hairline and the jaw. Thin layers, pressed, built only where you want more. The motion matters as much as the amount. Number 3, concealer after the base and less than you think. If you conceal first, you then blend your foundation right over the top of it and undo the work. Base first, then step back and look, because 8 times out of 10, the base has already handled most of the discoloration and you need far less concealer than you reached for. Under the eye, a small amount in the inner corner and just at the deepest part of the shadow, not a big triangle down the cheek. That triangle was a stage trick, and it creases on real faces in real light. If you do set it, use the smallest amount of powder on a small brush, pressed in rather than swept across. Number 2, set selectively, then melt it back down. Powder where you shine, which for most women is a narrow strip down the nose and center forehead plus the chin. Use a small brush, press it in, and stop. Everywhere else stays as it is. Then a fine mist of setting spray over the whole face, and this part matters because the mist takes that slightly powdery finish and melts everything back into the skin so it reads as skin again rather than product. That's the finish you're seeing on camera, so that's 6 of them, and every one of those 6 earns its place in the chair. But you can do all 6 perfectly on top of the wrong foundation and still meet that 2 o'clock face in the car window because the formula in the bottle decides what the other 6 are working with. Which brings me to number one, and if you change nothing else after this video, change this. Number one, the foundation itself. Traditional foundation is a fixed shade in a bottle. It meets your natural oils, it warms up on the skin, and 40 minutes later, it has oxidized a shade or two darker and gone orange. Especially at the jaw, especially in photographs, you did nothing wrong. The bottle simply wasn't built for the face you're putting it on. What I recommend now, and what I keep in my own kit, is Luxe Color Changing Foundation. The formula reads your skin as you blend it and adapts to your actual tone rather than sitting on top of it as a mask of one flat color. That's the difference between a face that looks made up and a face that looks like your skin but better, which is the phrase I hear from women constantly and which is exactly what they've been searching for. Two things make it work on mature skin specifically. It adapts instead of oxidizing, so the shade you see at 8 in the morning is the shade you see at 4 in the afternoon, with no orange stripe along the jaw. And the texture is light enough that it moves with the face rather than settling into the smile lines and the creases around the eyes the way a heavy fixed shade base does. You get coverage that evens the tone without that flat, plastered look that ages a face by 10 years in one pass. This is a foundation that works with mature skin instead of against it. I have put it on women in their 60s under a ring light and watched their expression change in the mirror. That's the whole job, really. So if you want to try it, the link is down in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Go and do that now while you're still thinking about it, because I've got 5 mistakes left to go through, and at least one of them is sitting on your bathroom shelf right this minute. Now, the other half of this, because doing the right things doesn't help you much if you're still doing the wrong ones. These are counting down as well, 5 to 1, and the last one is the one I see in every single makeup chair. Mistake 5, rushing the prep. Skipping that pause after moisturizer is what turns a beautiful 8 o'clock base into a creased one by lunchtime. It costs you 60 seconds. Mistake 4, powdering the entire face and baking under the eyes. Baking was invented for drag performance under stage lights, and it's magnificent there. On mature skin, it dehydrates the surface, exaggerates every fine line, and gives you that dry, flat, crepey look by the afternoon. Powder is a spot treatment after 50. Mistake 3, stopping at the jawline. That's a demarcation line, and it announces itself in daylight. Take the base down onto the neck, blend it back toward the ears, and check yourself in a hand mirror turned to the side before you leave the house. If your hair is up, take it onto the ears as well, because daylight and cameras both find the ears. Mistake 2, chasing full coverage matte. Those formulas were built for oily 20-year-old skin, and they're brilliant on it. On drier, more textured skin, they cling to every dry patch and sit on the surface like a shell. You want to finish with a little life in it, something that reflects light softly instead of flattening the face. Mistake 1, shade matching on the back of your hand and hoping a fixed shade will behave. Your hand is not your face. Department store lighting is a professional liar, and even a perfect match in the shop will shift on you once it meets your skin chemistry. This is exactly the problem the color-changing technology solves, because the shade is decided on your face, by your skin, not by a number on a bottle in a shop 3 weeks ago. Look at the face before you touch it. Hydrate, then wait. Prime only where the skin asks for it. Press it in, conceal after the base, set where you shine, and mist the rest back down. And put all of that on top of a foundation that adapts to you. Luxe Color Changing Foundation is the #1 selling foundation on Amazon right now, and I'll tell you why that doesn't surprise me. Women our age have spent decades being sold coverage when what they wanted was their own skin back. The link's in the description, or scan the QR code on your screen right now. Try it tomorrow morning. Then catch yourself in that same car window at 2 o'clock.